Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dumpy. Last episode, we managed to collect all of the four level 4 merchants. Using the campfire spawn and the billboard spawn location, we were able to collect all of the level 4 merchants. And then we duplicated the special book. We used chems, stat debuffs, and alcohol. Slept off the effects. This was our final stats. Instead of building little shelters and dirt farms for Preston and his little goons. Then I collect everything I can. I grab the atomic command. I accept to help them. I run over and collect the perception bobblehead. And then for some reason, I thought I couldn't collect it yet, even though I was at my final perception stat. I contemplated killing myself, reloaded, came back, wasted a lot of time, told Mama Murphy what's on my mind.
Completely nuts.
So we're going to ignore any and all advice given to us by Mama Murphy and her little dirt brigade. I forgot to mention too last episode that we're going to be collecting all of the holotapes. So I make sure at every location I'm going to pick those up. I try to push in the fusion core with the least amount of fusion. I forgot to record the first power armor I collected, but I still saved this one for later. And after over preparing and being way over leveled for this mission, I have 3 fusion cores already, or 2.5 rather, I guess. Another thing I noticed is that even with our stats, our special stats maxed out as high as they are, the only time that I feel like our character is really strong is when we are in bats or we're using melee, just because our strength is absurdly high and our perception after getting the bobblehead, which I don't know why I refused to grab it earlier, is at 17. In this clip it's 16, but it doesn't seem like bats really progresses that much after 11. It's like the game doesn't really account for having that high of perception, unfortunately. I thought maybe the kind of like how everything else is, that it would stack, but having a perception that high, at least I've noticed, is not a huge difference. Our perk side, as heavy as it is towards the crafting because of how long we were stuck in Sanctuary, our weapons perks and skills aren't very high, and so when they're not stacked on top of each other, like how later when I have like Action Boy, better criticals, critical banker, those really stack up fast for bats. Having gunslinger, commando. What I'm trying to get at is that when you're not having a perk system that's helping a character build or a playstyle, that you're kind of more broad, jack of all trades. So later down the road, we become more efficient at combat. Fresh out of the vault too, the added endurance is a lot of help. With the agility being maxed out, we can sprint for a fairly long time. In the early game, when you're finding level or enemies that are way too high level, being able to sprint out of there is very, very useful. Later down the road, I get the Charisma bobblehead doing the Jack Cabot and the Cabot House quest. I've noticed with 11 Charisma that you do not need to wear Charisma clothing to pass speech checks, but obviously for selling shit, you want to have it. You want to have your selling suit, the Reginald suit that you get from collecting Strong at the Trinity Tower with Rex. That will get you the Big Guns bobblehead, and then after completing Curtain Call, Rex Goodman will give you Reginald's suit, and that is the +3 to Charisma. You wear the fashionable glasses and the Pompadour's wig, or the Champions, I believe, Champions helmet that Penny sells in Covenant. That's also a +1 to Charisma as a headgear. That one's more practical because you can wear it all the time. That's what I'm running currently at 53, but it's going to be quite a while before the footage catches up to where I'm at in the game. Intelligence is important. The XP bonus is nice, but mainly what we're looking for is the crafting perks. So that's going to be Gun Nut, Scrapper, Science, and Chemist. So early on, it's really hard getting components like screws, so scrapping 10mm pistols, that's going to be probably your best bet. Scrapping these weapons and using the components to build better mods on your own gun, that helps a lot with the Gun Nut. With Chemist, you're going to be limping through the early game, and Chems honestly is going to make or break it. Having Overdrive is really nice. That's probably my favorite Chem, is what I found out. I never tried that before having Chemist. I've been playing this game since 2015, and I haven't tried Chemist. It's critical shots outside of VATS, and the strongest part of your character, if you're running a VATS character, is going to be your critical shot. And so having that outside of VATS is pretty nice. Science is going to do the same thing for you as Gun Nut for energy weapons. certain melee weapon mods, and then also power armor mods. The perk for science though is that outside of weapon crafting, you have a lot of options for crafting in your settlement. Generator that produces 100 power, it's like the fusion generator, and the one before that only puts out 10. So that is quite the difference in powering your settlement. So building up science if you plan on having a big settlement, or at least things with a lot of power, putting science or perks into science is definitely worth it. I touched on it a little bit earlier. Agility is really helpful for sprinting because it's going to affect your refresh speed for your action points. So that's going to be your AP on the bottom right. So with Action Boy, that's going to increase your refresh speed by 15%. Through the first perk. So you want to make sure that you're stat dumping that through every level up that you can. Action points affect a lot more than just VATS or how many times you can hit in VATS. It also affects your refresh speed for your sprinting, and then also how much you can fly in power armor with the jetpack mod. Agility and strength is also going to affect your ability to be effective when you're doing the melee or bash animation with your gun. After getting Action Boy, it's really up to personal preference whether you're going to be going with a melee or gun build. Personally, I went with the gun. I think there's a lot of fun handguns and a lot of fun rifles that are in this game. I think that the melee weapons are kind of lackluster until you are in Nuka World or the late game. Just running around with a rolling pin is definitely not my style. In Fallout 4, but in Fallout 3 New Vegas, you can't catch me dead using a gun. I am melee, explosives, like all the way. Mid game, for unarmed and melee weapons, I like the Furious Power Fist and then Pikmin's Blade. For late game, I'd say probably Krem's Tooth or probably just like a random legendary effect, Super Sledge. The Shish Kebab is a really fun one too. I got a frigid shish kebab during this run, and so I just want somebody to explain how that makes sense to me. So definitely not an essential stat for every run, but definitely a fun one is luck, so that's going to affect your critical recharge, how much caps and ammo you're going to find in the wild, quality of loot that you're going to find in chests, ammo boxes, or end dungeon loot chests. To be completely honest, the first 4 perks of luck are pretty mid. It doesn't start getting interesting until Critical Banker, Better Criticals, Grim Reaper, Spirit, 4-Leaf Clover. Those are going to refresh your action point and then fill your critical meter. So that basically is going to keep you in VATS and then hitting hard in VATS basically the entire fight until it's over. The amount of situations I've been able to get out of just purely because I spam 3 criticals into the chest of the highest level enemy in that room definitely is a testament to why you want Lady Luck on your side. I would definitely hope this made you or helped you make a decision on dumping luck into your build. So if you're following the process to have a perfect character, dumping a lot of luck points or luck stats into your combat style is definitely going to make you more effective. Just as a recap for all of that, I guess, I think the perks you should definitely be picking up for all the perk traits are Armor, Strong Back, pickpocketing, just because there is rare weapons and items that you're only able to get through pickpocketing. Lockpicking, because you don't want to have a locked door between you and some loot. That's not a good feeling. There's a lot of late game items that you're able to get early on if you're going to focus in on lockpicking. Also, Concentrated Fire and Penetrator, those are awesome perception perks. That's going to help with VATS quite a bit. And then with Endurance, the stat itself is very helpful. Perks, there is not very much to be said for it. Even with Toughness, I can't really say that Endurance perk-wise is all that important. Cannibal's fun. It's a fun one, definitely, having the companions all comment on it. And then also having an entire town turn on you instantly just because you wanted a little nibble of the good stuff. Because we've all been curious, and I just want everyone to comment W who agrees, and everyone to comment W who thinks that this is a good political standpoint. Make school cafeterias great again. For Charisma, you only really need better prices and local leader. After that, I went with Intimidation, Wasteland Whisperer, and then Animal Friend as well for some crafting things. Intelligence, you want to go with Gun Nut, Hacker, Scrapper, Science, Chemist, and then also I went with Robots Expert just for the Automaton DLC, and then also with Agility, you want to be doing Any of the gun skills, really, and then Action Boy. And then for sneak skills, I would probably go with Sneak, obviously, and then Silent Ninja. Intelligence, better criticals, Critical Banker, Grim Reaper Spirit, 4-leaf Clover, and then a fun one is Idiot Savant, because it gives you a lot of extra XP, but I don't like seeing it pop up in front of my screen. I know this video was kind of a little bit different than the last video, kind of just like setting the tone for the series with the last one. This one's kind of just going into my thought process when creating a character. But because our character is perfect, the perk tree really opens up to us. So with Dinkster, he's really good at crafting, and then he's also really good at using rifles and pistols and bats, refilling the critical bar, doing high amounts of damage with the criticals, alongside with being just generally able to craft anything known to man. By the end of this playthrough, I'm hoping to just be one-shotting all of the enemies at the end game. The series doesn't necessarily end, but the accomplishment definitely ends when I press that big red button to blow up the Institute. That is definitely going to be an ecstasy rush for sure. My gaming veins are shaking just at the thought of this. This last video is kind of more towards where I want the channel to go. This video definitely is something I wanted to make, and I'm glad I did make it. Last second I was thinking about completely scratching it, but I think that I think I will upload this one. It's nice to see that the people that watch me play Siege are watching me play a little bit of Fallout. It could be a lot of new viewers too. The Fallout show having a lot of success has brought a lot of fans back to the game, so that's really cool to see. Just want to say one last time, thank you. I really hope that you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it, and I'll see you in the next one.